Welcome back to The Explainer, where we break down the biggest stories from the JavaScript ecosystem. And this week, we've got a lot to get through. We're talking about a massive bug that's slowing down Macs everywhere, some huge security news for NPM, the latest React release, and yeah, you heard that right, programming by whistling. Let's get into it. All right, first up, let's talk about the big one. This is a problem that could literally be slowing down your machine as we speak, especially if you're a Mac user. So have you been on your Mac lately, running the new macOS Sequoia, and just felt everything is dragging? Like it's just slow all of a sudden? Well, you're not going crazy. It's a real thing people are calling the Tahoe Bug, and developers have been all over the forums talking about this massive lag. So what's going on here? Turns out the culprit is a bug with Electron apps. See, a bunch of them were using a private API in macOS. One of those internal things they're not really supposed to touch. Well, Apple changed it, and now those apps are just freaking out, and it's causing this huge performance hit that slows down your entire computer, not just the one app. Okay, so the good news is there's a fix. The Electron team jumped on this and has already patched it. So what does this mean for you? If you're a user, just keep your eyes peeled for updates to your apps, Slack, VS Code, things like that. If you're a developer and you maintain an Electron app, yep, time to update your dependencies and push out a new version using one of these patch releases. All right, so moving on from one specific bug to something much, much bigger, security. We're talking about the supply chain, the very packages that we all download and use from NPM every single day. You've probably seen the headlines lately about these supply chain attacks, right? Where bad actors sneak malicious code into popular packages. Well, after a few too many of those, the big players in the ecosystem are finally stepping up and rolling out some serious new security measures to keep us all safe. And leading the charge is GitHub. Since they run the NPM registry, they've put out a really clear plan to take this threat head on. And what's cool is it's not just about playing whack-a-mole with bad packages. They're tackling this from multiple angles. So yeah, they're blocking known malware, but they're also making the whole publishing process tougher to exploit and really pushing for everyone to use safer ways to get their code out there. This really shines a light on two totally different ways of thinking about security. You have NPM, which is basically adding armor to its existing system. But then you have something like Dino, which was built from the ground up with a secure by default mindset. With Dino, a script can't do anything dangerous, like access your files or the network, unless you explicitly say, yes, you can do that. It's a complete flip of the script. Okay, enough about problems. Let's talk about some awesome progress. The React team has been on an absolute roll this year, and they just dropped their third major release. And this isn't just a minor patch either. React 19.2 is packed with new stuff that's going to make our lives as developers easier and our apps run faster. Seriously, there's something in here for everyone. So what are we getting? Well, we've got the new use-effect event hook, which is super interesting. We've got way better performance profiling in Chrome DevTools, which is a lifesaver, and even partial pre-rendering capabilities. But I want to focus on that first one on the list for a second. Okay, this new activity component, this is a total game changer. Picture this. You've got a complex app with, say, a bunch of tabs. You fill out a form in one tab, then click to another. In the past, when you came back, poof, all that form data might be gone because the component unmounted. With activity, you can basically pause a part of your UI. It gets hidden, but it keeps all of its state perfectly preserved. When you switch back, it's all there instantly. So cool. All right, let's do a quick lightning round of some other big news from around the JavaScript ecosystem. It's been a packed week for sure. So what's new? PNPM has a new version out with more performance tweaks. Dino and Oxalent both got updates. And Bun dropped a new version improving its Node.js compatibility, but it looks like the big one we're all waiting for, version 1.3, got pushed to next week, so hang tight for that. And hey, if you want to get involved in the community, now's a great time. The State of JavaScript survey for 2025 is officially open. This is your chance to tell the world what you love and what you don't, so definitely go fill that out. Oh, and also, a brand new documentary about Vite is dropping next week. How cool is that? Okay, to wrap things up, let's talk about something a little different. I want to show you a couple of projects that popped up this week that are just weird and wonderful and really show how creative this community is. So let me ask you this. Have you ever looked at an old PlayStation 2 and thought, you know what that thing needs? JavaScript. Because somebody did. Someone actually built a whole system using the QuickJS engine to let you write and run games on a real PS2. It just goes to show you the #1 rule of development is if it has a chip and a screen, someone, somewhere, is trying to run JavaScript on it.
Okay, but what if running JavaScript on a PS2 isn't weird enough for you? What if I told you you could code without a keyboard?
I'm not kidding. Meet Valedo. It's what's called an ESOLang, an esoteric language. Basically, it's a programming language made for fun, or as an art project, not for your day job. And this one lets you write code by whistling. Your whistled tune gets turned into code, it's completely wild, and kind of makes you rethink what coding even is. And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? In just 1 week, we've gone from a critical, system-wide bug fix on macOS all the way to writing code by whistling. If that doesn't show you the incredible range and creativity of the JavaScript community, I don't know what will. It's just amazing to see what's happening every single day. Thanks so much for tuning in.